Starting off Saturday strength training, you're gonna need a lat pull down machine. So here, or the one that's behind us over there. I needed to change the attachment, right? So I went over here. I went to that archway that's over on that side that has all the handles that you can use for this attachment here. I did have to climb up here, so feel free to do that, no problem. And then once I'm locked in place, I wanna make sure my feet can stay flat, or some version of this is fine if my toes are a little elevated. And this is locking me into place, especially those of us that are gonna go a little heavier for this one, okay? If I need to adjust this up or down, right, taller person or shorter person, okay? So this is gonna be a reverse grip lat pull down, 4 sets of 12 reps. For this one, I just wanna go right above our shoulders for this one. So not too wide, not too narrow, all right, a full grip on the bar. I'm basically doing a reverse grip pull-up. I'm making sure that my shoulders are down, right? We call it scaps packed, or I'm using my lower traps. So these are all good reps versus this through here. I don't need it to touch me for this one, especially if it's gonna make me hunch over, right? Or people losing their tension when they come up top here. You're always thinking about how that area in your mid-back should feel as I'm coming up and down. If I can't feel that, maybe I'll do a few pauses to be like, all right, what am I doing? Do I look like this? Do I look like that? Right? Are my shoulders back and down? Again, I don't have to make it touch. I can keep it right through here. As long as that gets below my chin and I can find that good position. That's what we're looking for right now. Our next movement is going to be single arm overhead tricep extension. You are going to use a cable for this one. But again, if for some reason, if that's too heavy, you can do this movement with a pair of dumbbells. That's lighter, no problem. I just need this low enough. It doesn't have to be all the way down, where when I come up and down, it's not clanking, like I have free range of motion. So I'm trying to keep my arm where I would if I was just locking it out over my head, right? Arms behind the ears. That's our usual standard. And I want to make sure that from my elbow to my shoulder, it's not moving. So I don't collapse that down, or I don't punch it forward, right? I'm keeping that right behind my ears, or I can tell myself bicep near my ears. And again, I don't want to be in this position, so you have to focus on controlling your traps. And I want to keep my elbow in for this one, all right? And then I can just come over here, do the other side. Right, I don't want to come out here or pull that back any farther. I'm gonna feel like I almost maybe have like a V here. I wanna break parallel at least with this one. Come back up. And same thing with my wrist. I'm not like keeping it bent like this or constantly moving it around. I like keeping it straight, or maybe a little bit of an over grip to help keep the range of motion I'm looking for. And that's also gonna be 4 sets, 12 reps. Our next movement we're gonna be going over is seal rows. That's gonna be 4 sets of 10 reps, okay? I have the barbell placed on the lower rack. I think it's gonna fit most people. Again, if this barbell is too heavy, you can come over and just bring dumbbells and do the same movement, okay? So I'm gonna get into place. I'm still gonna have to reach for those handles. So I'm gonna grab it through here, take it off the rack. I'm gonna come up as high as I can, as long as I'm not like, moving my whole body. I'm focusing on squeezing in the right areas, right? I'm not gonna shrug up through here using the lower traps as we've talked about. And when I'm done, I can't get it up here, that's fine. I'm just gonna lower it down one side, the other, and drop it from there. You're going to superset the seal rows with skull crushers. If you want it to be on the bench, you could be on the bench. I'm going to go a little higher, or it can be on the floor with a mat, no problem. So just like the tricep extensions with the cables, okay, I want to make sure that from my tricep to my shoulder, it doesn't move. Okay, I'm going to keep the dumbbells in this position. I'm not going to turn them here. All right, so I don't want my elbow to collapse, right? I'm not reaching up any higher. All right, I don't want my elbows to go wide either. Right, if I focus on lowering it maybe near my temple, and that's my target every time, that's gonna help me keep this in the same spot how I want that. And that's gonna be 4 sets of 12 reps. Your last movement for Saturday's training is gonna be lateral Palloff steps, all right? So I'm gonna have my arms out in front of me, locked into place. I'm gonna go 1 and 1. This is gonna be 4 sets of 12 reps. So that was 2 and 2. 3, 3, right? That is in the center of my chest. I don't have to lock it out. I can keep a slight bend, but I'm not looking for much more than that for this one. So coming out through here, making sure I'm not rounded over. My shoulders are back nice and tall. When I'm done, I'm just gonna go to this side, and again, I'm gonna grab it with my pointer fingers, mostly, and then the other fingers are going to overlap like this. So I don't want any fingers on the outside, right? If you got bigger hands, you'll be able to grab something like this. So I'll face this way, keeping that in the center of my chest. 1, 1, 2, 2. Making sure the weight is light enough where I'm not having to like push off. It should be just nice and controlled lateral steps. I'm trying to stay as tall as I can, but in an athletic stance, meaning like I'm not turning left to right in order to do the movement. And if the lightest weight on here feels too heavy, you can band it, right? Have a band about that same height, and you can go left to right with the bands as well. Supers.